feels so good to be back, and I'm so excited to bring you all this brand new series in Cities Skylines 2. So much has happened during my hiatus, so let's break this video down into 3 parts, and in the background you're going to see me editing a map for this series. Part 1, where have I been / future plans. Part 2, my thoughts on Cities 2 / Paradox mods. And part 3, plan for this series. So let's dive into part 1. So where have I been? When I first got access to Cities Skylines 2 as part of the early access program, I was so excited. But as we all know, that excitement turned into frustration and general sadness with the state that the game was in. And despite providing constant feedback, most of us in early access felt ignored and felt that the company did not care about what we had to say. Then the game launched in a rather abysmal state, and with all of the negativity surrounding the game on top of the general boredom I felt just, with the lack of stuff for it, I decided to take a hiatus from YouTube and focus on streaming Cities Skylines 1 again. About, I would say, a month ago, I started trying out the Thunderstorm mods, and I was really surprised with how much fun I had with it, especially with such few mods. I really didn't need a lot to get me back into the game and get me excited about it, which was really cool to see, because I really thought that without assets, that excitement just wouldn't be there. So that was really cool to see. This also came as well, too, at a time when I was itching to make more YouTube videos, as sharing my passion for this game, as well as architecture, urban planning, meeting so many awesome like-minded people was one of the biggest highlights for me last year. So I'm finally back. So the plan for this channel going forward is for this soon-to-be-named build series to drop every Friday at 9 a.m. PST. I will also be a part of 5 Builders 1 City. Really excited to be a part of that and to bring you an episode. That's going to be dropping, I believe, in mid-April, but I'll keep you posted in the community tab. On top of all of that, early access is back as a perk for Patreon and Coffee members. And really excited to share this with all of you, but during my hiatus, I created a new cities-related clothing brand called Skyline Retailers Club. You're seeing the images of them here. The links for that, as well as Patreon, Discord, Coffee, Twitch, all of that will be in the description below. So yeah, check that stuff out. I'm really proud of it, and I think the designs turned out really cool. So part 2, my thoughts on Cities Skylines 2 and Paradox mods. So what are my thoughts on the state of Cities Skylines 2 and Paradox mods? Well, I was definitely in the negative Nancy crew when the game dropped. I always knew the game had potential, but compared to modded Cities 1, it just felt like a huge miss. Despite all the amazing things as well, too, because the simulation, graphics, textures were so much better than Cities Skylines 1. But I'm really happy to say that even with the small handful of mods that we currently have, it has been enough to bring me back to Cities Skylines 2, and I've been having an absolute blast with this game. There is so much potential here. I mean, just look at this shot from Hockenheim of future assets they've already started working on. Stunning. Like, crazy. So good. And then we had this beautiful train station from Bad Peanut, which is another asset that is in the works. So you start to see these coupled with the mods, and you start to really realize the potential of this game. So PDX Mods launch day was a bit of a disaster. It was a bit of a disaster, yeah. They were able to right their wrongs near the end of the day, and it can still be somewhat rocky, but overall things are much smoother with Paradox mods, and the fact that we finally have Move It, like, I'm having so much fun with it, and it feels so good. So yeah, to wrap this part up, overall, my faith and trust in Colossal Order and Paradox it's been shattered. I don't really trust anything that they say, just to throw it out there and be completely blunt about it. I don't trust anything that Colossal Order or Paradox says right now. Yeah, trust has just been shattered, which is unfortunate. It sucks, but at the end of the day, I'm putting my faith, it kind of just shifted, I don't know, I'm putting my faith for this game into the hands of the modders and asset creators. And while I do think that it is frustrating to have a game that, in my opinion, needs to be saved from modders and asset creators. You know, at the end of the day, it's a cool game with some cool stuff in it, and yeah, I just trusted in the modders and asset creators that it'll become more so what I kind of hoped it would be. And we're still part of the early access crew, which is really cool, so you will still get early access content here, especially now that I'm back doing YouTube videos. So there might be some videos that differ from our usual Friday build series as part of early access. I did get early access to PDX mods and the Beach Properties DLC. Guess just to summarize, right, because we didn't do a video on it or anything, you can check out the Twitch mod if you want to see my thoughts on it. PDX mods, very messy, much better now, but I had a horrible experience in early access. It worked for maybe 2 hours for me. We reported all of this, so it was unfortunate that the same issues still happened yet again on launch. But at the end of the day, too, just stuff happens. It's part of life, right? And then Beach Properties DLC, I love the assets. I know there's been... seems like a lot of people are not happy with it. Yeah, I mean, I guess the price tag's kind of high. Like 13 Canadian for that is a little bit ridiculous. Especially, I don't think they should be charging for trees, let alone 4 trees. Like, come on, what are we doing, right? But yeah, I don't know. Overall, I think that the assets themselves, like if we don't just talk about the quality of the assets, I know people don't like it. I love it. I don't know. To me, I'm quite pleased with the assets. Yeah, overall, I really like the assets. Price is ridiculous. They had to charge for it because of the Ultimate Edition, but yeah, realistically, something like that probably shouldn't have been charged for. But yeah, it is what it is, you know. So let's dive into part 3 here. So, what is this series? What is this map that you've been seeing in the background here? What is Moose up to? So, a keen viewer might already kind of pick up on the shape and the form. I don't know, it's pretty obvious, right? Like, I feel it's obvious, but that's because I live there. So to me, it's like, oh, I know what this is. I know what this is. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if before I announce it here, you know, just timestamp your comment, right? Did you know what it was? Did you know what it was? Yeah, we're going to do the city that I currently call home. We're going to do a build inspired by Vancouver, British Columbia. And this is something I've wanted to bring over to YouTube for a while now. And I've been kind of itching to just do like, you know, Royal Canada A was great and I had a blast doing that. But it wasn't, like it was my home for a while. But Vancouver's become so much more my home, and it was something that I really wanted to bring to all of you here. It's just a big, huge metropolitan city. Now, the hard part, of course, of a series like this is, I'm sure I'm probably going to get comments about it, there's no bikes. Yeah, it sucks. There's no bikes. Like, what? Like, that is probably, I don't know. I have a lot of frustrations with cities, too. I'm having a blast with the game, but, you know, I'm still annoyed with stuff. What are we doing? Why is there no bikes? Like, come on. I don't know. It cracks me up too because the marketing for this game is like, you know, most realistic city builder, and then there's no bikes. But I digress. Yeah, we're gonna do a city based off of Vancouver, BC. But I do have some tricks up my sleeve. I'm gonna try and plan for bikes. Like we don't know when they're coming, but Teddy Radko brought up a great point, saying that if they do bring bikes to the game, he imagined that a bike path would be about the same size as a pedestrian path, and that like seems easy to me. Like, potentially something that they would do. So I think I'm just going to use that as a, you know, hypothetical bike path for now. And then I guess when the stuff comes out, we just retrofit the infrastructure, which to be honest is kind of cool. Like thinking about retrofitting a city, like you build it out and then you introduce bike infrastructure. It's extremely common in a lot of North American cities. So it's not, I don't know, to me, it's kind of realistic. But what are we going to do in this project, right? So it's based off of Vancouver, British Columbia. The transport options for it are going to be metro, which will be above ground / underground, and then we will do bus as well too. So it'll be metro and bus servicing the city. I do plan as well to have a second city, a sister city, based off of Victoria, British Columbia. So I have left a island, which you saw in the intro shots here. That will be based off of Victoria, and it will be ferry access only, which means, yes, I do want to do a build in this project based off of the Horseshoe Bay ferry terminal to connect to it. So yeah, the build, when we do get to that part, it'll be ferry access only, which I think is really cool. I haven't even tried to see if that's possible to bring in population. Like, it was doable in Cities 1. It's probably doable here as well. Yeah, well, we'll see when we get there. I imagine it'll be fine. Like, it doesn't need an outside road connection, you know? And then I want to do as well, too, so I've left space for a Richmond-based area with an airport, which I think would be a lot of fun to do as well. Try and get something like the Fraser River going as well, for that sort of area there as well. So across the water, we're going to have West Vancouver and North Vancouver inspired areas. Behind the city, we're going to have a East Vancouver style build, and I might be able to, we'll see. I like this map's got the best mountains, which I should have probably talked about as well too. This is River Delta, so I'm modifying a version of River Delta to suit Vancouver because it's got the best mountains of any map. There's some dope custom maps out there, but yeah, the vanilla map, River Delta, literally has the best mountains for doing like a Vancouver inspired city. It also has the best climate, like literally the best climate for this, because it goes what, -3 to +34, I think. Perfect climate for a Vancouver-based city. So all around, really excited that it's a vanilla build map. So yeah, we're using mods, but I don't know if you're a vanilla player out there. Yeah, we're just using River Delta. We're modifying it, and like all this modification stuff, other than like I guess the tiles, but a lot of the stuff is so far is just vanilla. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, so back to what we're gonna build. So I might try and fit Burnaby. We'll see. I'm using the mountains as a way to kind of justify the end of the city limits in a way that doesn't happen in Vancouver. I'm going to do a UBC-inspired build and try to mix in parts of SFU as well. I'm going to do a Seawall and Stanley Park style build, which I think will be really cool. Again, yeah, it's unfortunate that there's no bikes, and we don't have park life, so I don't know how. I have to come up with, I don't know, you know, basically I'll DM Teddy and be like, hey, how can I do this? But I want to come up with ways to get people to actually use the pass, and I think if I can sneak some businesses in here, some, I guess like, I don't know, you know, somebody that's selling ice cream cones and food and stuff like that for people walking around there, I think I could try and force people to use the pass, which would be cool. So we'll figure that out as well to see if we can get it to, I don't know, get it to function, right? I think that'd be really cool. We're going to do a Point Roberts style border crossing town. So I don't know how I'm going to do this because we don't have flags, which is unfortunate. By the way, there's so much stuff that I'm saying here that we're going to do. Like, potentially a lot of these, by the time we even get to them, assets are going to be out, right? Like, who knows? Who knows when we get to half of this? Because the big thing that I want to say about this build, which I probably should have started with, but hey, you know what? I'm back doing YouTube, and so this video is going to be all over the place because I gotta get back into the hang of things, you know? This build will be a ploppable, modded, detail build. I might mix in some zoning here and there, especially for the suburbs, but overall, this build is going to be a detailed build similar to rural Canada A. I'm a detailer, it's what I am. So yeah, expect plopping, expect detailing, expect slow progress, but still progress, and some really, really, really cool builds. So, yeah, that's what the series is going to be. So, again, we'll see. By the time I try to get to the stuff, like, for sure, by the time we get to, like, the Victoria build or the Point Roberts border crossing, who knows? Maybe there will be assets out, and, you know, that would be, like, really heckin' cool. So I think that'd be, I don't know. Yeah, something nice to have and to finally get assets and be able to craft that as well too. The plan is to just keep this build going for a while. So like as stuff gets added to the game, we retrofit the city with that. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, that's the plan for this series. I still don't know what I'm gonna name this city yet, so if you have suggestions, throw them in the comments below. Likewise, if you have things that you want to see from the series going forward, let me know. I cannot wait to grow this city with all of you and to share all of the exciting content and kind of watch this city grow alongside City Skylines 2 this year and whatever the future holds for it. I'm so excited for this project. If you like this episode and want to see more, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you want to connect further and share your beautiful creations or just hang out with some heckin' awesome city nerds, come check out the Discord, which is linked below. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I will see you all next week.